Hello, hello, hello. Uh-oh. Well, I'm trying to set this up better than, with this, oh, that's that. Let's see, is there anything else that's sticking up? Okay. Um, I asked my guides this morning if they had anything they wanted me to do. And they wanted me to come on and talk about death and possibly change. Um, okay, so let's do that. Everybody dies. Um, every animal, every insect, we die. Um, this is not home. Home is on the other side, and that is forever. It's really forever. Um, I don't know what we do on the other side, not really. Some. I know that when we um, talk to we talk to our guides and we talk to spirits on the others. We talk to spirits. We tend to light up for them. They, especially once they realize we're not afraid and they can come and talk to us, they do. And we are then lit up. My husband was a Philadelphia police officer in the 60s and 70s. He has seen every officer with whom he worked who died. They all came in his dreams, every single one. And friends, too. They came, and the friends come back. Sometimes the police officers do, too. Um, it just depends, I guess, on how close he was to them. So I know everybody, including me, fear death, and we do everything in the world that we can to stay living. Um, but eventually we die anyway. We just hope that our death is not painful and is fast, and that we live a full life before that. Um, I've heard psychics say that our guides come to us before we actually expire on this side and take us over. I have no idea. I don't know. That's just not not what comes. Nothing like that comes to me, and I can only say what does. Um, so not that, but I see spirits on the other side all the time. Um, since I like history, I often call. Oh, I have to take a drink. I often call spirits from the far history. I called most recently. I talked to I talked to um, blah, God, what is wrong with me? Um, I'm forgetting the whole thing. Napoleon. I'm very interested in Napoleon, and it was the next book I was going to read. I was reading about, oh boy, the war, the war, the Flower War in England. The What do they call it? The war between, oh, I can't even think. It's not certainly not called the Flower War. Um, it's where the Tudors and and who, I don't know. I forget all the names. I can't remember names for the life of me. Um, But it was the war that came after the Hundred Years' War with France. And England, the barons were fighting with each other and with the king, and they were just having skirmishes and battles all the time. And sometimes the barons were killed, but usually they weren't. It was the workers, the people who rented land from the barons, who were responsible for going and fighting for them. They're the ones whose lives were not important to them. And I think it's just the same as often I felt like our lives were not important to a number of politicians. Um, Sometimes I feel like even in the city, I'm Philadelphian, even though I'm living in Delaware, um, feels like nobody cares. I mean, people were living in Kensington, and the whole street of Kensington was just wall to wall drug addicts, sleeping, eating, doing their business on the street. And children live in the neighborhood, and so do people. Anyway, so the guides wanted me to talk about death. Um, when I asked them, I drew cards, and I don't know how they do it, but um, most of the time, very rarely do the cards not tell me the answer to what I'm asking, which sounds like you know, any answer, but I don't think so. I mean, it could be, but I don't think so. I think it is actually them, and um, I do keep tarot cards, and I like the ones that are beautiful. The death card, the one with the skeleton, can mean death, or it can mean big change or change. But generally, it's a serious change. Um, when we go to our real home, I imagine it's pretty scary, but I think it's too fast for us to be really scared. I think we're really scared beforehand, and then our family shows up and helps us to get over there, and so that's calming. Um, I do talk to my family. Sometimes it's difficult, but sometimes I can have regular conversations. Um, and the fact is that people aren't dead. Their bodies are dead. Our meat is dead. That's it. That's why I don't like the idea of eating meat, because we're meat. Um, you know. So they showed me that card. That card's what came up today, and they wanted me to talk about death and change. Things are going to change when people die. I mean, when the meat dies, we we become all we are is energy. That's all we really are. That is our lives. We are there for infinity. I don't know if we want to get out of it, what we do. Maybe we just go to sleep for centuries until I imagine that's available. Um, I usually see spirits hanging out with other spirits. Um, and they do things, whatever they want, um, they can do. Don't ask me how, because I don't know how. I don't understand, but it will come eventually. And okay, changes. One of the things that one of the not guides, one of the psychics I like talks about all the time, are aliens. I think pretty soon we'll be seeing them. I mean, we do see them. Pilots see them frequently, and people who live in certain areas where they have, where they have places, they have forts or whatever they call them. They see them more frequently. Sometimes they're under the ocean and they come out of that. Uh, my daughter, my daughter was asking me, how do we know that they're friendly? If they're not friendly, then they're not. And whatever they do, I guess we will bear it. I have no idea. But apparently they have been here for millions of years. And you can see the drawings and the paintings on the walls of caves from thousands of years ago. And you can see, that, oh, well, hey, that's an alien. I think that's an alien. They were here. I personally think it makes sense that they seeded us. It makes more sense than we would develop the way that we have from apes or chimpanzees. I don't know. I think a lot of animals came from other planets. And I feel like, okay, why do you really, I mean, does anybody feel upset about that? And then why? There's nothing we can do about it. We got some really weird animals, When you look at all the photos of the animals on Earth, even elephants. I understand where they came from. I got that. But even mammoths, like, and some of the fish and some of the animals under the sea, they're very strange. Not that I don't like them, they're animals. So it's between like it and dislike. I love them. I do love animals. So change. I think we are here to get learning, so that when we are energy, we know about this life. Because as plain energy, we can't experience everything on Earth. But as humans, we can go through love and sadness and loss and all that stuff. And we bring the knowledge with our energy when we go back. I personally think, and not every psychic thinks this, I think that we live sometimes parallel lives. I have found out that I had lives during the Second World War, like 2 lives. Well, they were basically at the same time. So I don't know. Maybe I'm not bothered by, I don't know. Whatever it is, it's not going to hurt us. And if it does, then we'll deal with it. I'm going to say, oh, well, I can't. I just, it's so frustrating, I keep saying that when we get older, we're still just as smart. Unless we're not, I mean, our brains work but things happen, and some people have heart attacks, and then, they're worried all the time about what's going to happen. Sometimes oxygen didn't get to their brains while they were having a heart attack, or they've had a stroke like my mother did. They survive it, but they're not the same. Um, Earth has so many awful surprises for us, but it doesn't mean that our brains are gone or that we don't have ideas and that we're useless. I never thought that Joe Biden was demented or losing it. I think Trump is. Um, I don't know. Well, okay. Let me tell you about some of the change that will happen. I believe that Kamala Harris is going to be elected. Project 25 will not go into law. It is a very scary project. Parts of it say take the vote away from women. Schools would shrink, and the Department of Education would be closed. It wouldn't exist. I think programs for disabled kids would disappear. Parents would run the schools any way they chose. The CIA, the FBI, and the Department of the oh boy, I'm really making a good impression for old people. The all of the policing departments of the federal government would go under the president, so that the president, assuming it would be Trump, could go after anybody. He already says you won't have to have another election because he'll be in, and he wants to be a tyrant, a a dictator like Putin, and that way there would not be any elections unless they were sort of phony elections. Okay, so they wanted me, meaning my guys, wanted me to talk about death, that there isn't really any death. It's just an ending of this part of our existence. And it's important because this is how we learn. Earth is a school, and apparently I hear that it is the best school because it's a mess, and it's a school in which we fight and we don't necessarily win. It's hard. Oh, I know what I wanted to say. That's important. This doesn't have to do with death. It has to do with respecting yourself. Please think about respecting yourself. Think about the fact that you are unique, you're worthy of love, and you are loved. Look in the mirror and say it, and just say it to yourself. Make it something you say every night. That will help. It brings your vibration, and I can't explain your vibration. Well, we are energy. We all have an aura. It brings your aura up. It brings your emotional, it brings your feelings up. If you do start saying that. And sometimes it brings up negativity, and you have to handle that and continue to say, I am worthy. I am worthy of love and all that. Because if you respect yourself, you will respect others. And if you don't, you won't. That's something that's important to learn when we're here. It's really the bottom line, one of the parts of it. Okay, so while I'm talking, let me tell you what's Biden doing. Okay, I think Biden is sitting outside on something that's comfortable on his deck. He's sitting outside. I think he might have been sleeping, napping, reading a little bit, napping. He's got COVID, and he really needs to, relax. And I could be wrong about this, and I could be seeing somebody else. Okay, and where is Kamala? Kamala says that she's running around like a chicken without a head, and that she really has to. She's very excited. The response that she's gotten has been incredible. She's scared. She was really, really scared, and talking to her husband, who was saying, it's going to be all right. It's going to be okay. You were a wonderful district attorney and attorney general. It's going to be something like that. She's scared, but she is very excited. Being a vice president will have helped her a lot. And Joe will help her as much as possible. And she'll be able to talk. What they do is they talk to the other presidents and get ideas from them. So of course she'll be talking with Joe, but she'll also be talking with Carter, assuming he's still here, and Bush, not 45, 47, whatever, 45. He is he's eating. Is it time for dinner? Oh, yeah, he's eating, and he's complaining. He's having steak and potatoes and his diet soda, and he's sitting with other people who belong to his club, and he's complaining, and he's talking about everybody, talking about Biden, the judges, Aileen, how wonderful she was, Aileen Cannon. Oh, wonderful. She should be on the Supreme Court. She really helped me. Okay, so once in a while he throws that in. But mostly he's complaining, how he was screwed. No other president went through this. No other president was treated this way, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Obama is excited. He is talking to his wife, to Michelle, and they're both pleased. They're talking to the girls, and everybody in that household is excited. It turned out that my cousin, who I knew well from Boston, his son, who I don't know, lives next door to the Obamas, but it doesn't matter because they don't know me they don't know me at all. And it's nice to think that, but they don't know me. So anyway, I don't think Kamala has made up her mind about her vice president yet. She doesn't have to. She's talking to them. I don't know who she's leaning toward. I shouldn't be doing this on here because it's supposed to be about death. As far as I know, everybody's going to be, everybody, no, everybody will not be alive, but the people involved in this will be. I don't, people thought, psychics thought that Trump would die before the election. I don't think so. We have free will. That means a lot. Another time I can explain. But okay, I'm Putin. How's Putin? Oh my goodness, he's so mad. He's so angry. He's super angry. I think he's in bed. He's still mad though. So he has to take drugs, go to sleep. Okay. Somebody's tucking him in. It's one of the people who cooks for him. He has these older people who cook, and they buy the vegetables and stuff away from the Kremlin because people would try to kill him through poisoning if they knew, who was involved in it. He thinks he's got everything beat. He really thinks he's got everything in ducks in a row, and he's got something. He's hoping that he can mess around with our election and get 45 in. Doesn't like 45. He thinks 45 is an idiot. He's not even so sure that 45 is a useful idiot. He says he's not really useful because he's an idiot and it's a problem. There's nobody else really except for Tubby or whatever his name. There aren't too many people as stupid as Trump. So this is for entertainment purposes only. And thank you very much for watching. If you have a comment, put it on here. If you have a question, I'd love to hear it. Thank you for watching. But if you want to ask me something, write to Spiritsbyjaynee at gmail.com, and I'll get it, and I will be thrilled to answer. Thank you so much for subscribing. I know it doesn't affect anything, and you don't get emails or anything, bills or anything from it. Thank you very much for doing that. It has gone up a lot, and thank you for watching. I am bowled over. Thank you. Have a great night. Good night. Oh, I forgot one thing about talking to Napoleon. What surprised me is when he was leaving, he kissed me on both cheeks. Ah. Okay. Have a great night. Thank you. Good night, everybody. No. Okay.